Okay, y'all. So we know with everything that's going on, there is a lot of attacks and comments, critiques, concerns about DEAI and what it has done in organizations, what it's done to people. Well, we like to think also that this is an opportunity to have a creative outlook at this moment and think about what are the different ways in which DEAI maybe hasn't served us, and what are the ways in which it can now serve us if we approached it from a different perspective. So, I'm an artist by trade. That's my love. And so any opportunity to think out of the box is always something that I'm drawn to. And particularly with DEAI, there's a lot of initiatives that came from that era that I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for some of those efforts to make space for me and people who look like me. And I also recognize that some of those efforts have been really damaging to people. And some people have had a lot of scars from going through DEAI processes. And so when I think about the opportunity to have a creative outlook on this, what are the ways in which we can ground ourselves in the things that we know that do work, but then think about where is it not serving some of the goals that the DEAI efforts had originally planned to take us to? One of the ways I like to think about creative endeavors in this space is that it doesn't always mean we have to do things completely different. If anyone has ever seen the movie Hidden Figures, there's this great line where Katherine Johnson is trying to calculate the trajectories for a moon launch. And she looks at it and she says, maybe this is not new math, maybe it's old math. Well, what I love about that is that she had this brilliant genius moment in taking something that was super old and something that was totally traditional in the mathematical space and approached it from a new perspective and applied it to a completely new endeavor. That is what I think our DEAI space needs. Organizational development and leadership development has its role, has its purpose. What if we were to look at those strategies from a new perspective, embedding social equity frameworks into them, and use that as a way to see a whole different world on the other side of this question of how can we make DEAI efforts serve us? If you're curious about thinking outside of the box and looking at DEAI as this creative endeavor, then please, we want to know what you're thinking. Message us, check out our website, invite us into a conversation. We would love to hear what you're working on, and we would love to share with you what we've learned along the way.